Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole relationships and it's by user CalmAd3250. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my son be the ring bearer at my ex-husband's wedding to the guy he cheated on me with? I, 30 female, was married to my ex-husband, Art, 31 male, for 8 years. We had what I thought was a picture-perfect marriage and share a wonderful 6-year-old son, Jayce. However, everything fell apart when I discovered Art had been having an affair for a year with Ray, 28 male, the younger brother of his best friend Nick. Ray had grown up in a different country, so none of us had really met him until New Year's Eve 2020. That was apparently the night they hit it off. A year later, I found messages on Art's laptop, text after text, full of romance and explicit photos. When I confronted him, he didn't even try to deny it. He just paled and said, "I guess we need a divorce." No apology, no attempt to fix things, nothing. Our divorce was finalized in 2021 and we now share custody of Jayce. Since then, I've had to watch Art and Ray not only stay together but also integrate our tight-knit friend group and family. It's been brutal, but I've done my best to keep things civil for the sake of my son. Fast forward to last month, February, at one of our occasional brunches with our friends and Art's parents. Art and Ray announced their engagement. Most people were excited, but a few gave me awkward looks, probably wondering how I was feeling. Then, as they started discussing wedding plans, Ray casually said he wanted Jayce to be the ring bearer. I didn't even think before I reacted. I just blurted out F no. The whole table went silent. Then years worth of bottled up emotions just spilled out of me. I snapped. "I will not have my son be the ring bearer at your effing wedding, Ray." And then I stormed out. One of my friends followed me, but the rest just sat there, stunned. Since then, I've been getting messages saying I shouldn't have caused a scene over something so trivial and that I should apologize to Ray. Now that I've had some time to cool down, I'm wondering if I overreacted. Was I the a-hole? No, OP, you're not the a-hole. Cheaters suck, and your husband and his affair partner, they both suck. You've had to sit there and pretend you're okay with your husband and his affair partner just following up on their life and being integrated to your friends and family while you sit and stay quiet about it. I don't think that's right. You were cheated on, and that's nothing to forgive or to just sweep under the rug. So no, I don't think you're the a-hole for saying that, and I don't think you owe Ray any kind of apology unless he tries to apologize first for what he did to you. And Art should apologize to you as well. Now, having said that, I don't think you're in any position to not allow Jayce to be their ring bearer. I understand it's a horrible situation, but Jayce gets to make that choice. He is also Art's son, and regardless of Art being a scumbag that cheated on you, if he wants to ask Jayce if he'd like to be the ring bearer, I think he has the right to do so. This does not in any way condone their cheating or put a, let's say, blessing on their relationship. The way I see it, they're two different matters. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments. An introverted panda says, not the a-hole. If anyone should be apologizing, it should be coming from Ray and your ex. They should have discussed it with you so you wouldn't be blindsided. It really sounds like this was done on purpose to cause drama. Your friends suck. You did not overreact or anything. You don't owe anyone anything. The friends that defend your ex should be tossed away. Make some new supportive friends who will care about your feelings. Cute Instruction 733 says, not the a-hole. It was tasteless of them to bring this up with others present. Ray should have kept his place. Respectful distance from you and let Art take it up. Just the two of you. Ray has no say over your son. However, keeping your no, a no might be an a-hole-ish move since your son might really want to do this. Ask your son if he wants to. Reach out to Ray and Art and establish a clear boundary. Anything concerning your son goes between you and Art. If Ray wants to be involved, Art always needs to consult you and there will be no apologies from your side. You will reconsider your no if Ray heartfully apologizes for his tactlessness and will accept his place in this arrangement. And Opie responds, "Thank you for the advice. I'm planning to talk to Art about their plans with Jayce. As for Ray, no matter how tactless his casual comment is, I will be sending him an apology text tonight. I'm not sure if I can talk to him one-on-one without my emotions bursting." And the Quiet Hunter says, "Not the a-hole. Ray clearly stepped into and caused severe damage to your relationship. Adultery is a consent violation. That is on the husband. Ray clearly understood that Art was cheating. That is also a consent violation. They have no right to expect any civil discourse or courtesies." Opie's edit to add, "Thank you for the thoughtful advice in the replies. Some of these points I had already taken time to consider over the past few days before posting, but I just needed a second opinion." Smiley face. 1. I've reached out to Art and we're planning to sort out the ring bearer situation as well as have an important discussion about what happened in the past on Monday. 2. I haven't sent a text message yet to Ray to apologize about the situation and nothing else. I'm assuming Art is going to bring him on Monday anyways, so might as well discuss it live. 3. Forgot to add, I knew Art was bi back in our university days, but as far as I know, he hasn't been in a relationship with a man. 4. I usually join these occasional brunches because they've become a tradition with friends and family even before Art and I were married. 5. And yes, I might need to rethink some of my friendships. Well, the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and that there is nothing to apologize for. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. I had a chance to talk to Jayce about the ring bearer situation and wanted to get to know his feelings on this before I met Art and Ray, and tried to explain that me and his dad's situation as much as I can, as metaphorically as I can, and as he can understand. I told my son that sometimes stories take unexpected turns, like when a knight thinks he's going to fight a dragon but ends up befriending it instead. Explained that Daddy and I thought our story would go one way, but his heart led him to Mama Ballerina. Jayce calls Ray this since he's a ballerina instead. My son then said, "So they're like the knight and the dragon who decided to be best friends forever?" Then I told him that Daddy and Mama Ballerina are getting married and want him to be the ring bearer. His eyes lit up. Like a real knight carrying magic rings? And now he insists on wearing a knight costume. Well, suffice to say, he wants in, and hopefully I've relayed the situation to him in a way a kid would understand. Then, instead of Monday, we decided to move our meetup just today as there are a lot of things going on at work on Monday for all of us, and we want to get this over with. So here's how it went. Met up with my ex, Art, and the man he cheated on me with, Ray, to clear the air after last month when I snapped at Ray for suggesting Jayce to be the ring bearer. You all might be disappointed to hear, but I did apologize to Ray for snapping. Not for their sake, but for mine. I recognize that what I did was purely emotional, and while my feelings would have been more valid 4 years ago, time has passed. I think it's time for me to let this go and create some distance from all of them. I see that now. Ray just nodded and said he probably shouldn't have sprung it on me like that. No real emotion, no real concern. Not that I expected any, to be honest. Art took the opportunity to apologize for hurting me, not just the situation last month, saying that in finding the love of his life, he had to hurt me. I just nodded, nothing to say there. Ray, looking completely uninterested in being there, said their wedding is in Italy and they'd understand if I didn't want Jayce to go. I told them my brother can take him. I'm not planning to go, I'm not that masochistic. Art looked relieved. Ray barely reacted. The rest was small talk. Art tried to keep things light, talking about Jayce and how he and Ray planned to take him to an amusement park after watching one of Ray's ballet performances. Ray spent most of the time stirring his coffee and looking like he couldn't wait to leave. The conversation went as I thought it would. Art trying to be jovial and Ray looking like he'd rather face an asteroid to his face rather than be there. Suffice to say, what's done is done. I'm considering looking for a psychologist or a support group and keeping more in touch with the friends I have separate from Art and I's circle. One thing to say about the friends we do share, to their benefit, they were really angry at first when Art cheated on me, considering we have been friends since university. Especially Nick, Ray's older brother. He lashed out on both of them for my sake as well, but time passed and our friends just accepted it, and Nick couldn't be angry for too long with his best friend and brother. The wedding is next year, no specified month yet. Anyway, I think I'm gonna be okay, hopefully. Well, OP, I think you've made the right decision for your benefit in order to seek help and a support group and other friends. So hopefully, as you say, you're gonna be okay. And here's hoping to that. Take care, OP, and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice, and it's by user Throwaway Sasha. 21 female drunkenly kissed a lifelong friend, 22 male, at a party, and he told me he loved me. How do I approach this? I mean, the title is pretty much it. James and I have been friends since 2nd grade. We have shared practically everything with each other. Been there for each other when no one else was. We tell each other I love you pretty often. He is my family. I don't drink much ever, and James had begged me to come with him to his friend's apartment for drinks and games. I decided to let loose, bad move on my part, and drank too much. He had a bit to drink as well, but not nearly as much. He saw I was warm and loopy, so he took me out for some fresh air. Honestly, this bit is pretty fuzzy. I just remember laughing and going to kiss his cheek like I would my mother, but it didn't end that way. I missed and kinda hit the corner of his mouth, and he took that as an invitation to really kiss me. We kind of made out, and then he told me he loved me, and I told him I loved him too, cause that's what we always say. But he responded with something like, no, like, I am in love with you. And then I puked in a bush. After that, he took me home, still quite embarrassed about it. It has been a couple of days and neither of us has brought it up. I am kind of confused about my feelings. I haven't really been in love before, but I do love him and have always considered him my person. Am I being obtuse? How can I bring the topic up with him? Because I do want to discuss it once I figure myself out. Well, if you want to figure it out, I think don't be rational about it, but do think about how you feel. What I mean by this is when he did kiss you and you think about that moment, does it feel wrong or does it feel somewhat right? And after that, I think you can have that conversation with him and see if this is going somewhere or you should just try to stay friends if that's possible. But that should be the first step. How do you feel about that kiss? And take it from there. Sit down with him and discuss the situation. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. Justin Trudeau says, next time you guys are alone together, just say, hey, I wanted to talk about the other night, but I would 100,000% please figure out your own feelings, what you want before you do that. Heavy Quail 7295 says, I had a best friend forever woman when I was younger. We both got married to other people, divorced, caught feelings later, and have been married for 22 years. Process how you feel and then talk about it. And OP responds, is there a good way to process emotions? I'm just so confused and nervous, to be honest. Business B89 says, you guys are still super young. I wouldn't rush anything. Take some time to process. Have either of you been in a relationship since you've been friends? And OP responds, yeah, we have, since 2nd grade. He has had 2 girlfriends and I have had 1 boyfriend. And Fur67677 says, close your eyes and imagine with him another woman and think about how you would feel if he smiled at another woman just like he does with you, in the way he looks at you. Many times they don't realize the feelings until it's too late. Many times because you take it for granted or because you see such a predictable person, and many people let that person go because another person came along and they see the novelty. They see something new, but in the end you realize that the other person didn't love you, so you regret it, and many times it's too late. And OP responds, well, we have grown up together and have seen each other through different phases of life. We have each dated other people. Whenever he has a girlfriend, I have never felt jealous or unhappy. He seemed happy, which made me happy, and I always got along with his girlfriend. That being said, we have always had our special inside jokes and secret handshakes. I never felt pushed aside, so maybe that was why I was so okay? Alright, well I think the community gave Whoopi some pretty good advice as to how she should try to process her feelings before talking to her friend. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Someone mentioned something about an update. I'm not sure if this is how it is meant to be done, so I don't know if anyone will even see it, but this is how I am doing. So we talked, and I was honest. I have been way overthinking this and really just confusing myself more and more. I came to terms with the fact that I was truly very into the kiss and enjoyed the thought of kissing him even when I was sober. So I told him that. But I also told him how nervous I had been about our relationship because I have thought of him as someone who will be in my life forever since 6th grade, and I have never been lucky in love. The thought of us parting ways because our relationship goes south makes me feel legitimately ill, and I told him that too. I started off with talking because he knew it was coming and I could tell he was incredibly nervous, but he seemed to loosen up as I continued. He actually smiled a little. After I finished my speech, he said, "Can I say something cheesy but true?" And I naturally replied with yes. He told me that he has loved me since middle school and that he never thought it would get this far. I am still utterly shocked by this. I seriously have never known. I was getting all flustered and shy because of a man I have literally shared everything with, which is bonkers. When I am with him, I am the most unapologetic version of myself, but he had me blushing. That pretty much solidified it for me. The only thing left to discuss was how to move forward, and he took the initiative and asked what it was that I wanted to do about this. I had been thinking about this for a day or so since unraveling how I felt about him. I suggested that we go on a real date, not just a hangout, if he would be okay with that. I understand that at this point he is much deeper into this than I am, so I don't want to do anything to hurt him, but committing super hard would be a lie on my end and this feels necessary to explore. Honestly, it is a possibility that he could find out that I was better in his head or something. Anyway, he agreed and we are giving it a shot. I am very happy and he seems to be as well. He was absolutely grinning once I offered up the date idea. He was tickled that I asked him out. It was very cute. So thank you to everyone for your suggestions and support. It was surprisingly helpful. This post was more like a diary entry than anything else, and reading it back is kind of cringe, but I am grateful nonetheless. If anyone is reading this, have a great day. Heart. Well, Whoopi, good for you. I really like how you approached this and that this is something worth exploring. I think that's a really healthy mindset. So here's wishing you both the best, OP. Take care and thanks for sharing. Now let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance and it's by user ThinkTrouble9616. You want to fire me? Oh yes please. I joined a startup's AI team which consisted of just 3 people including myself, with the other 2 being more senior. We spent about a year developing a product that was gaining traction with new clients. Then everything changed when our CEO decided that regular team-based sprints, basically one-day check-ins, weren't effective enough. Instead, every team member had to become a head of a project, organizing, managing, and running separate daily scrums. Typically, each of us was assigned to 4 to 6 different scrums, completely destroying any sensible resource planning. This was the breaking point for the 2 senior members in my team, who promptly decided to quit. I tried to stick it out, but the CEO started giving me crap all of a sudden. I believe he was holding a grudge because I once didn't answer my phone at 6:29 p.m. when work ended at 6:30 p.m. I called him at 7, but apparently that wasn't enough. After that, instead of talking to me directly, he would just speak to one of the seniors, who hadn't yet announced his resignation. And that senior was supposed to relay that to me. But he was ready to quit and wasn't really that helpful, and with the work management going nuts, everything was just going to crap. I mean, engineering becomes crappy if you don't know the intentions, but he just kept giving me tasks without an explanation, so I had a one-on-one with the CEO and asked him to tell me what he wants directly. This suggestion set him off. He implied that, "This isn't working out. clearly suggesting my time at the company was coming to an end. Knowing what I knew about our codebase being built in LangChain and runnable, notorious for their poor readability, and that, well, all of the members are quitting, well, I liked this sub too much to let this go. About a week after receiving this message, the two seniors quit. That was about a year ago. I now saw them putting out a news article, first PR they've done so far since I left. Yep, the entire project that we developed for about a year, gone and replaced with something completely new and generic. Can't say I'm not happy seeing that product crumble. Willoughby, he was definitely right about something. That didn't work out. Thanks for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.